Everyone, for our continuing series of the group Green Tara practice. As many of you know, ever since the beginning of the pandemic, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has been especially emphasizing this practice to be done. And more recently, the head of the Gelugpa school, the Gen Tripa Rinpoche, he also recommended that this practice be done, especially these first 15 days of Saka Dawa, the 4th lunar month in the Tibetan calendar, the month where we celebrate the Buddha's enlightenment and birth, as well as the passing away into parinirvana. And coinciding with that, the pandemic is still raging out of control here in India and also in many parts of the world. And also there are many other very acute problems facing the world. The conflict in Palestine and Israel, and the various natural disasters, the typhoon that has just hit in the west coast of India, and in any case is a very trying time for the world. So I thank all of you for coming together and trying to do something beneficial to benefit both ourselves and others. So thank you very much. So now as we get started, then we should just take a moment to adjust our motivation. And here I've said many times, but it's very good to review why exactly we are doing anything that we do. And although we might say, those of you who've been in the Mahayana circles for some amount of time, then so can you hear me okay? Yeah? I just got a message. Okay. Anyway, I'll try to speak louder. But in any case, those of you who have been within the Mahayana circles for some time, you will know that we always try to motivate with this mind of bodhicitta, or the mind aspiring to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So it's very important that we not just leave it as words, but understand a bit deeper why precisely it is that we need to achieve enlightenment for sentient beings. And basically, the reason is, you see, we always say, yes, we want sentient beings to be free from suffering. But as you know, in the Four Immeasurable practice, we actually say, may all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering, right? So if we truly want sentient beings to be free from suffering, they have to be free from the causes of suffering, right? But okay, so now let's just consider this normal karuna or compassion practice that we do in the Four Immeasurables, right? Although we might develop this wish, oh, may all sentient beings be free from suffering, that wish alone won't free beings from suffering, right? So actually, you know, since beginningless samsaric birth, sentient beings have been wandering, drowning, as it were, in the ocean of samsara. So merely keeping it at the level of, oh, may sentient beings be free from suffering, it would be like, you know, if a hungry person, a hungry beggar comes to you and you just say, oh, may you enjoy a nice meal, right? Well, that's not going to do much good. What would be a lot better is to actually give them food. So not just wish they have a nice meal, but actually do something where they could eat, and therefore their you know, suffering of hunger would be alleviated, right? So similarly, when we practice the four immeasurables, those of you who know the way it is practiced in the Mahayana tradition, then we don't just leave it at the level of may all sentient beings be free from suffering, but we say, I myself will cause sentient beings to be free from suffering. Right? You remember this? I myself will cause sentient beings to be free from suffering. Right? So taking on the personal responsibility to free the sentient beings from suffering ourselves. Okay, so then the question comes, oh, wait a minute. How can I do that? I myself am not free from suffering. I am experiencing all these kinds of problems. So, what really can I do to help sentient beings? So, does that ever happen? That happens to me a lot, having this kind of self-doubt. So on one level, it is true, in our current capacity as limited sentient beings, we are therefore limited in the amount of help we can do and give and offer to others. Yes. But that doesn't mean we don't do anything, right? So of course, as much as we can, we should be helping sentient beings in our daily lives in ways big and small. But on an ultimate level, we do need to not just help sentient beings, but increase our current ability to help sentient beings. And we do that by practicing the path, right? And developing our minds, developing our innate Buddha nature, as it were, right? So this Buddha nature is the potential that all of us have to perfect our minds and become Buddhas at one point in the future, right? And we have all of us have this potential to become Buddha because we have a mind. And no matter how our mind is now, whether we think, we're so deluded, we have so many problems, we have so much suffering. Well, just the mere fact that we have a mind, all those problems that we think are such a big deal, whether we have anger or depression or whatever kind of afflictions we might be facing, all of those are just adventitious, temporary obscurations of the mind, but they're not intrinsically one with the mind. And therefore, the analogy they often use is just like a glass of, water that has some dirt or pollutants in it, right? The actual nature of the water is pure, and the whatever pollutants are in the glass, it doesn't change the fundamentally pure nature of the water. And we know this because through a process of filtration and purifying the water, we are left then with a pure glass of water again. So similarly, as we go through the path and develop our minds and remove these adventitious obscurations, we will at the end leave the pristine enlightened mind of a Buddha, the Dharmakaya. And once we've achieved that, then we will be able to work perfectly for sentient beings' benefit. We'll be able to manifest countless emanations of the enjoyment body, or the Sambhogakaya, the Nirmanakaya, or the other emanations of the Buddhas, and we'll be able to do that spontaneously, without any thought or effort, and it'll just naturally happen. And then whatever sentient beings need at that particular time and moment, in terms of what's going to guide them and lead them to the state of enlightenment as quickly as possible, will manifest that. You understand? So that's why we need to become enlightened, so we can do that one, right? Until we're enlightened, then yeah, you're true. You're right. Our ability to help sentient beings is limited. Okay. All right, but so that's actually, if we think about that in a little bit deep level, that should offer us a lot of hope. So no matter how bad things might appear to us, no matter what our current situation is, this fundamental pure nature of the mind means that, well, we can achieve enlightenment. We can be not only just merely free from all suffering, but we can become perfectly enlightened Buddhas. And so that potential is always there. It's just a matter of us cultivating it. So how we're going to cultivate it tonight is by doing this Tara practice, okay? So our main goal is to quickly perfect our minds so we can become, utmost benefit for all sentient beings. But in the meantime, then we're also going to do this practice here today for all the sentient beings, especially in this world system who are facing all the tremendous suffering, the suffering of illness, the suffering of poverty, the suffering of war, the suffering of natural disasters, the suffering of, mental health issues and depression. So for all of this, so that this practice here today can quickly be the cause that all sentient beings are completely pacified of all their suffering and quickly achieve the state of highest enlightenment, then we're now going to engage in this green Tara practice. How does that sound? Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So, sometimes I'm just sharing, my own like limited practice, right? Sometimes, especially those of you might have taken initiations in the past, and then you have these various commitments that you have to do every day, right? You have to do Lama Guru yoga, you have to do Sikshan Guru yoga, you have to do the sadhana, you have to do this, right? So if we think, like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, oh, I have to do this, otherwise I'm going to hell, oh, it's like a very heavy, it's like paying taxes, right? But instead of thinking, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, just to change our motivation, change our perception a bit and say, wow, I have this perfect human rebirth. I have such a wonderful opportunity. I've met these teachers who introduced me to these practices. And now I get to do the Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga. I get to do, whatever practice it is, right? Because, if we do these practices well, and even not perfectly, but just a bit mindfully and well, we're going to collect so much benefit, so much merit, and we're also going to do so much purification. And we all are experiencing the ripening effect of the karma that we've accumulated in the past, right? So that's why the very fundamental teaching, the one that you hear from Dhammapada all the time, do not commit a single negative action, accumulate a host of perfect virtuous actions to thoroughly subdue one's own mind. This is the teaching of Buddha, right? So actually, our suffering or happiness is all in our hands, right? It all depends on the causes that we accumulate, right? And so if we want the result of experiencing happiness, then we have to accumulate the cause, which is virtue. And if we don't want to experience the result of suffering, then we have to abandon its cause, non-virtue. And then on top of that, right, even if we have accumulated a lot of negative actions, right? Yes, maybe in this life, right? We think, oh, I'm such a bad Dharma practitioner. I've done all these negative actions. Even after, I've met the Dharma, I still am, getting angry. I'm still criticizing others. I'm still doing this and that, right? Okay, that's actually nothing. That's nothing. Whatever you've done in this life is nothing compared to all the negative actions you've done since beginning of this lifetimes, right? Like, not even close, right? So, no, I'm not doing this to make you even more depressed. I'm saying there's actually very skillful means purification practice that we can do that can then purify these previously accumulated negative actions, right? So rather than getting so down, oh, I did this, I did that, then, to actively transform and say, yes, I've done all that in this life and in previous lives, and I don't want to experience the suffering effects of that. So what can I do? What's the only thing that's possible for me to do now that it's already done, right? We can't go back in the past and not do what we've already done. But what we can do is practice purification, right? And so, the 35 Buddhist practice, the Vajrasattva, all these practices that right? It's very good to put a little bit extra effort in those. Or, those of you who are actually the best purification is to follow and do the advice of your guru. So whether your guru has advised you to do some work for a center or engage in a study program, or there might be particular practices that your guru has asked you to do, then you can do those. Okay. So anyway, because of that, you see, I hope all of you have received teachings from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and you consider His Holiness one of your teachers, right? So now this practice that we're doing right now, we are fulfilling His Holiness' advice. His Holiness has advised all of his students to do the Green Tara practice, right? So, you should be so happy that you're able to come and join this session. So unbelievable. Okay, enough advertising. Let's do the visualization. Okay. So above the crown of my head, I visualize a lotus and moon disk. Upon these is the great treasure of compassion, Aryatara. Mother of all enlightened beings, who is one with my kind guru. My guru is seated in the full lotus position within a transparent bubble of rainbow-colored light, is pink in complexion, and wears the saffron robes and a pandit's hat. His right hand is at his heart in the gesture of teaching the Dharma, and holds a vajra and the stem of a white lotus that blooms beside his right ear. His left hand rests on his hip. It holds a bell and the stem of another white lotus that blooms beside his left ear. At my guru's heart is Aryatara in female aspect, green in color and seated in dancing posture within a rainbow bubble. Her left leg is bent up and her right leg is outstretched. Her left hand is at her heart in the mudra, symbolizing the triple gem and holding the stem of a blue utpali flower. Her right hand extended over her right knee is in the mudra of granting sublime realizations. She is beautifully adorned with jeweled ornaments and scarves at her three places, bears the syllable Om Ahum. At her heart is a lotus and moon seat on which stands a radiant green syllable Tam. Rays of green light radiate in all directions from the Tam and invoke all the enlightened beings of the 10 directions. They are absorbed into Aryatara and become one. Okay, so now we just take a moment and try to build up that visualization. So even if you can't get all the details, then the most important thing is just to have this very strong sense that Aryatara is, appearing in the form of your guru on the crown of your head, and at his heart is Aryatara. And then, from those light rays, they went out to the 10 directions and invited all the Buddhas, all the enlightened beings to come to the space, and they did. And then they absorbed into Aryatara. So now, at the crown of your head is your guru, at his heart is Aryatara, and is actually, an embodiment of all the enlightened beings. So as we said last time, although our Guru has all the qualities of all the enlightened beings, then our Guru actually is more kind than them, kinder to us, because it is our Guru, who is the one who is directly helping us. Although there is countless, numberless enlightened beings, then it's actually our Guru. That's the one who is leading us to enlightenment. And so remembering the unbearable, unbelievable kindness that our Guru is showing us, then we make this request, to please continue to guide us, without separation, life after life until I am enlightened. So then we make this request, please remain above my head until I receive enlightenment. So that doesn't mean, just remain above my head, but also the Guru will be actively, helping us and guiding us, giving us teachings until I'm enlightened. So now think that the Guru accepts the request. Okay, then continuing on with the refuge in bodhicitta. Okay, so now recalling the qualities of the Guru, inseparable from the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, right? And wishing to develop those qualities within your own mental continuum. How do we develop those qualities? But by practicing. By practicing the Dharma that our Guru has taught us, that the Buddha has taught. Yeah. And then in particular, from our practice, we want it to ripen in a way that we can become enlightened in order so we can be of utmost benefit for all sentient beings. Okay? I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit of giving unto the perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving any of the perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merit from giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Okay, so now the 7 prayer. So here with the limb of prostration, again, we'll do the 21 Tara praises. Okay. So we'll chant in Tibetan, still continuing with that. I hope you are learning. And by the way, a little bit of advertising. These videos, then they're, even if you're on the Zoom call, the videos are up on the Root Institute YouTube channel afterwards. So, if on another day you can't join us at our normal time, then you can also, just do the video and do the practice along with it, okay? Om Podalaye Necho Ne Tayin Jangule Jujin Rupa Megi Ulagen Dusun Sange Chunlema Joma Korche Sheksu So La Da Men Chupengi Shagi Pemola Tute Pompa Gunle Josema Joma Yumla Chaselo Om Jetsuma Pama Jomala Chakselo Chasa Joma Nyoma Pamo Cheni Kechilo Danjama Jiten Sundu Shiki Shelgi Kesa Jewaleni Juma Chasa Tunge Dawa Kuntu Kama Gyani Sepe Shelma Kama Tondra Sopa Namgi Ratu chewe rabama, chasa sengu chuni kegi, pemi chani namba gyama, chenpa sundru kadu shiva, sepa senden chuyunima. Excuse me. Chasen de shi shebe suda, tae nampa gyawa chuma, malu paru chimpa tobe, gewe segi shindu tema, chasa tutara hunyike, deda choda nanka kama, jiten domba shagi nende, rupa mepa gupa numa, chasa geche nela samba, lula nanso wanchu chuma, chumbo rola tisananda, Lechen suki suni tema, chase cheche chadan peki, paru tu kora tu joma, yeka yeka shaki nende, mepa tukpa shindu bama, chase turi jeba chempo, dugi pao nampa joma, chugi sheni tronen denzi, trao malu tangshe suma, chase konsho sun sun chage, suma choka namba gema, Malu choki golu gembe, rangi yugi sokram trukma, chasa ratu gawa jibi, yugi yugi trewa pelma, sheba rashe tutarayi, duda jide wandu zema, chasa sashi kyonwe sona, tangche gubanu manima, kone yo igi hungi, pompa tangche namba droma, chasa dawe dumbu gen, Genpa tamshi shindu bama, rebe teba eba mele, takpa shindu razema, chase kebe dame meda, bari tewe yana nema, yeke yukun kone koge, kai pune namba joma, chase sashi ngela chage, tilgi shage doma, kone jinzi gi hungi, remba domba nani gama, Chase dema gema jima, ngainde chuyul nima, soha yanda dembe, dikpa chempo joma nima, chase kune gora gawe, kailu namba gema, yigi chipe ngangi kebe, ripa hune joma nima, chase turi shani dabe, hungi nangi sabe nima, rida mandara dambije, Jiten suyo anima, chasa lai soye nabe, rida chane namba nama, tara ninji bengi yege, duna malu pani selma, chasa lai soknam gyalbo, lada miam chi tema, kune goja gawa jige, sada milang empa selma, chasa nimanda wangebe, Cheni pola ura selma, harani jutu tarai, shintu tapurini selma, chase deni sunang kebe, shivi tu dayanda dema, duna rula nuchin sogna, jompa ture rachonima, sawe ngaki tuba didang, chase wani nishu saji. Okay. So now the abbreviated prayers. We'll do this 21 times. Onje tsuma pama joma la cha se lo cha se joma tare pamo tutara yi jikun sema ture dana danje terma soha yike chela rabdu onje tsuma pama joma la cha se lo cha se joma tare pamo tutara yi jikun sema ture dana danje terma Soha yike chera rabdu onje tsuma paman joma la cha selo cha se joma tare pamo tutarai jikun sama tune danan tanje tema soha yike chera rabdu onje tsuma paman joma la cha selo cha se joma tare pamo tutarai jikun sama tune danan tanje tema I am tema So you get shit out of it. Hold on. Ayo. No. Adobe wants me to sign in.
Venerable, shall I share?
No. Onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha sa joma dare ba mo tu dara injigun zama tune dana danje ma so yin jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha sa joma dare ba mo tu dara injigun zama tune dana danje ma so yin jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha za lo cha za joma dare ba mo tu dara injigun zama ture dana danje dem so yigin jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha za lo cha za joma dare ba mo tu dara injigun zama ture dana danje dem so yigin jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha sa joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje nam so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha sa joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje nam so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha cha joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du onje tsuma paman joma la cha sa lo cha sa joma dare ba mo tu dara ijigun zama tune dana danje dama so yigi jarara du. Okay, so continuing on with the limb of offering. So as we've been doing on previous days, I will now light some incense, and then we can think that we're offering this on behalf of all sentient beings. So as you know, you say Om Hum as you light the incense. Om 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 Om. And 2 sticks, as you know. Oops. It's auspicious dependent arising to complete the accumulations of merit and transcendental wisdom, which are the causes respectively of the Dharmakaya and the Nirmanakaya. I offer all offerings, both real and imagined. So we meditated on that in some detail last time. So just take a moment and, imagine that you're offering all the, pleasing offerings, both real, both that have been set out actually in this place, in the other houses of the students and the Rinpoche's houses, and all the centers all over the world. Then you can also offer all the unowned things in the universe. Think of all the stars in the sky, all that light you're offering. Then all the imagined offerings. So here, use your imagination and think that you, mentally create all sorts of beautiful and pleasing offerings that fill every direction and dimension of the universe. And then think that you're offering them not just once, but many, 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 many times to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Arya beings, all the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, statues, stupid scriptures, and the 10 directions, thinking that they're all manifestations of your own root guru. And the gurus, upon receiving these offerings, generate great bliss within their mental continuum. Okay. All sins and offenses amassed from beginningless time, I confess. So here again, all those negative actions that we've done, not just in this life, but from beginningless time until the present. Then we confess them, we accept the negative things that we've done as being negative, and we try to refrain from committing such actions again in the future, even if it's just for one day, even if it's just for 1 minute. Try to make a firm commitment that you won't engage in such behavior. Try your best. I rejoice in all virtuous actions of holy and ordinary beings. So you just take a moment to rejoice. We've also done an extensive meditation on this on previous days. So now you should know. Rejoice in your own merits. Rejoicing in the merits of others, other ordinary beings, other holy beings. Holy beings means Arya beings. Arya beings means those who have direct realization of emptiness or shunyata. Then especially the Bodhisattvas who have uncontrolled bodhicitta. How wonderful. How amazing. Then the Arya Bodhisattvas who also have the direct realization of emptiness combined with the bodhicitta. Then, of course, rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas. Okay, so now requesting that the Buddhas remain. O Gurus and Buddhas, please remain until samsara ends. Visualize a golden throne with a double crossed vajra that you offer to the Buddha who accepts your request. And turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. So now, offer the Dharma chakra, golden Dharma chakra, not just one, but many, which also gets absorbed into the Guru, and the Guru accepts our request. All my virtues and those of all of those I dedicate to the great enlightenment. So now mandala offering. This ground unknown to a perfume, strewn with flowers, adorning Mount Miracle, continent, sun and the moon. I imagine this is a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. The abolition of my attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends and any strangers, and my body, wealth, and enjoyments, without any sense of loss I offer this collection. Please accept it with pleasure and bless me with freedom from the three poisons. So yeah, just take a moment and clarify that visualization. Basically, the mandala is everything beautiful and precious in the universe. And then think that you're not just offering one, but countless, numberless mandalas, each representing the entire universe. So on every atom of the universe, think that, there is a mandala that represents the entire universe itself. And we offer these to our Guru. Idam Guru Rana Mandala Kam Niratayami. Okay, so now the purification meditation. Okay. So now, please, please bless me to purify all obscurations of my body so it will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra body. So then the Guru accepts our request, and then white light emanates from the Om at Aratara's brow and curves in an arc to enter my brow. My body is completely purified of all obscurations and becomes one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra body. So next we request, please bless me to purify all obscurations of my speech, so I will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra speech. The Guru accepts our request. Then visualize the red light emanates from the eye at Aratara's throat and curves in an arc to enter my throat. My speech is purified completely. All obscurations and becomes one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra speech. Please bless me to purify all obscurations of my mind, so that it will become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra mind. So the Guru accepts our request. And then blue light emanates from the Hung at Aratara's heart and curves into an arc to enter my heart. My mind is purified of all obscurations and becomes one in essence with Guru Tara's holy Vajra mind. Please bless me to purify all delusions and subtle obscurations to omniscience, so that my body, speech, and mind will become one with Guru Tara's holy body, speech, and mind. The Guru accepts our request. Now, three colored beams emanate simultaneously from the Oma and Hum syllables, curving an arc and entering my three places, completely purifying all my delusions and subtle obscurations to omniscience. My body, speech, and mind become one in essence with Guru Tara's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind. And then my Guru dissolves into Aratara, who melts into green light, which flows into me. Instantly, all my wrong conceptions, I and all the phenomena are self-existent, together with my dualistic mind and its views disappear, becoming completely empty. Not even a trace of them remains. So here again, very important, we pause and meditate as best we can on this nature of ultimate reality, emptiness, the fact that no phenomena have even an atom of inherent existence. So if you've studied emptiness extensively before, you can, use your favorite quotations from Nagarjuna or Chandakirti. Otherwise, those of us like me, just beginners, then this practice to meditate on the false, deceptive nature of appearance, thinking that everything that appears to our sense consciousnesses appear to be truly existent, self-existent, inherently existent, but they do not exist in that way that they appear. And therefore, you can just think that these appearances are completely false. Okay, so now we meditate in two different ways, whether or not we've had the initiation before. Okay. So if we've had the requisite initiation, then we concentrate on this mind that now realizes the ultimate nature of phenomena, right? That is inseparable, indistinguishable from Aryatara's enlightened mind. It experiences great bliss. But then realizing that if we just stay in this state of the Dharmakaya, in the state of, in the state of uncontaminated great bliss, merely focused on emptiness without taking a grosser type of rebirth or manifestation, then other sentient beings won't be able to interact with us. And so we manifest as Aryatara. Okay? So if you haven't had the initiation, then you can think that, from this state of, while everything is empty, while everything lacks inherent existence, then Aryatara appears from that emptiness in the space in front of you. So then whether you are visualizing yourself as Aryatara or you're visualizing Aryatara in the space in front of you, then at Aryatara's heart is the syllable Tam on a lotus and moon seat. And surrounding that Tam is the mantra Om Tari Tari Turi Soa. So now as we recite the mantra, then you visualize that green light radiates from all the letters of the mantra, spreading in every direction, purifying the negative karma, gross delusion, self-obscurations to omniscient of all sentient beings who become Tara. Okay, so these are the other two visualizations. I will allow you to, use your own pace to do that. Om Tari Tutari Turi So Om Tari Zai. Om Tadi Tutari Ture Soha, Om Tadi Tutari Ture Soha. Om Tadi Tutari Ture Soha, Om Tadi Tutari Ture Soha. Om Tadi Tutari Ture Soha, Om Tadi Tutari. Om Tadi Tutari Ture Soha, Om Tadi Tutari. Om Tadi Tutari Ture Soha, Om Tadi Tutari. Om Tadi Tutari Ture Soha. Om Tadi Tutari Ture Soha. So now just rest in that awareness that due to the power of having recited the mantra, that all the sinning beings are now completely purified of all their negative karma and all their obscurations of liberation and enlightenment, and have attained the enlightened state of Aryatara. Also, you yourself have now purified your own mind of all obscurations and receive all the qualities of Aryatara. Okay, so now we dedicate. May I quickly become Guru Aryatara and lead each and every sinning being into her enlightened state because of these merits. May the Supreme Jewel Bodhicitta that has not yet arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase more and more. Okay, so I'm having difficulty finishing everything within 1 hour. So we're going to go a little bit over time. So you should all have the King of Prayers. Yes? So, yeah, okay, great. very good to recite this, every day in your normal practice. And well, it's also very beneficial to recite. It's one of the main practices we can do for those who have already passed away. But even for your own practice, they say that it's very good to create the cause for developing bodhicitta as quickly as possible. So, and in particular, Jado Rinpoche, Jado Rinpoche, he once told me that memorizing the King of Prayers is a special condition to becoming a bodhisattva in this life. So, what do you think? I bow down to you for Arya Manjushri, you lions among humans, gone to freedom in the past, present, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you, with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every atom are numberless atoms, or Buddhas, numberless as atoms. Each of them is a host of Bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With infinite ocean of praise for you and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all you gone to bliss. Beautiful flowers, river vines, sweet music, scent oils, and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, I offer to you, victorious ones. Fine dress and fragrant perfume, sandalwood powder, heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I offer to you, victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done, with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and confusion, all these I openly bear before you. I lift up my heart and rejoice in all positive potential of the Buddha Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, solitary realizers, serious soul training, and those beyond, and all ordinary beings. You who are bright lights of the world, the 10 directions, who attain a Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme reed of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request, you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for eons as numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all waters in samsara. Whatever slight positive potential I may have created, by paying homage, offering, acknowledging my faults, rejoicing and requesting the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for full awakening. May you Buddhas now living in the world's 10 directions and all who gone to freedom in the past accept my offerings. May those not yet arisen quickly affect their minds, awakening as fully enlightened ones. May all worlds in 10 directions be entirely pure and vast. May they be filled with bodhisattvas surrounding Buddhas gathered beneath the Bodhi tree. May as many beings as exist in 10 directions be always well and happy. May all samsaric beings live in accord with the Dharma, and may every Dharma wish be fulfilled. Remembering my past lives and all varieties of existence, may I practice Bodhisattva way, and thus a new cycle of death, migration, and birth, may I always abandon the householder's life. Then following the footsteps of all the Buddhas and perfecting the practice of Bodhisattva, may I always act without error or compromise with ethical discipline, faultless and pure. May I teach the Dharma in the language of the gods, in every language of spirits and non-languages of humans and of demons, and in the voice of every form of being. May I be gentle-minded, cultivating the 6 paramitas, and never forget bodhicitta. May I completely cleanse without omission every negativity and all that obscures this awakening moment. May I traverse all my lives in this world, free of karma, affliction, and interfering forces, just as the lotus blossom is undisturbed by the water's wave, just as the sun and moon move unhindered through the sky. May I ease the suffering in lower realms and many directions and dimensions of the universe. May I guide all wanderers in samsara to the pure bliss of awakening and be of worthy benefit to them as well. May I practice constantly for eons to come, perfecting the activity of awakening, acting in harmony with the varied dispositions of beings, showing the ways of bodhisattva. May I always have the friendship of those whose path is like mine, and with body, words, and also mind, may we practice together the same aspirations and activities. May I always meet the spiritual mentor and never displease that excellent friend who deeply wishes to help me and expertly teaches the Bodhisattva way. May I always directly see the Buddhas, mastered and circled by Bodhisattvas, and without pause or discouragement for eons to come, may I make extensive offerings to them. May I hold within me the Buddha's genuine Dharma, illuminate everywhere the teachings that awaken, embody the realizations of the Bodhisattva, and practice ardently in all future eons. While cycling through all states of existence, may I become a limitless treasure of good qualities, skillful means, wisdom, samadhi, and liberating stabilization, gathering limitless pristine wisdom and positive potential. On one atom I shall see Buddha fields, numbers as atoms, inconceivable Buddhas among bodhisattvas in every field, practicing activities of awakening. Perceiving all this in all 10 directions, I dive into an ocean of Buddha fields, each an ocean of 3 times Buddhas in the space of a hair. So I too will practice for an ocean of eons. Thus I'm continually immersed in the speech of the Buddhas, expression that reveals an ocean of qualities in one word, the completely pure eloquence of all the Buddhas, communication suited to the very tendencies of beings, with strength of understanding I plunge into the infinite light speech of the Dharma, of all the Buddhas in 3 times gone to freedom, who continually turn the wheel of Dharma methods. I shall experience in one moment such vast activity of all future eons, and I will enter into all eons of the 3 times in but a fraction of a second. In one instant I shall see all those awakened beings, past, present, and future lines among humans, and with the power of illusion-like stabilization, I will constantly engage in their inconceivable activity. I shall manifest upon one single atom the array of pure lands, present, past, and future. Likewise, I shall enter the array of pure Buddha fields in every direction without exception. I shall enter the very presence of all my guides, those lights of this world who are yet to appear, those sequentially turning the wheels of complete awakening, those who revere in nirvana, final perfect peace. May I achieve the power of swift magical emanation, the power to lead to the great vehicle of every approach, the power of always beneficial activity, the power of love pervading all realms, the power of all surpassing positive potential, the power of supreme knowledge unobstructed by discrimination, and through the powers of wisdom, skillful means, and samadhi, may I achieve the perfect power of awakening, purifying the power of all contaminated actions, crushing the power of disturbing emotions at their root, diffusing the power of interfering forces. I shall perfect the power of bodhisattva practice. May I purify an ocean of worlds. May I free an ocean of beings. May I clearly see an ocean of dharma. May I realize an ocean of pristine wisdom. May I purify an ocean of activities. May I fulfill an ocean of aspirations. May I make offering to an ocean of Buddhas. May I practice without discouragement or for an ocean of eons. To awaken fully through this bodhisattva way, I shall fulfill without exception all the diverse aspiration of the awakening practice of all Buddhas gone to freedom in the 3 times everywhere, in order to practice exactly as the wise one called Samantabhadra, all embracing good. Elder brother of the sons and daughters of the Buddhas, I completely dedicate all this goodness. Likewise, may I dedicate just as the skillful Samantabhadra, with pure body, speech, and mind, pure actions, and pure Buddha fields. I shall give rise to this aspiration to Manjushri for this bodhisattva practice of all embracing good, to perfect these practices without discouragement or pause in all future eons. May my pure activities be endless, my good qualities boundless, and through abiding in immeasurable activity, may I actualize infinite emanations. Limitless is the end of space. Thus, limitless are living beings. Thus, limitless are common afflictions. May my aspirations reach be limitless as well. One may offer to the Buddhas all wealth and adornments of infinite world in 10 directions, and one may offer during eons endless atoms of the world, even the greatest happiness of gods and humans. But whoever hears this extraordinary aspiration and longing for highest awakening gives rise to faith just once, creates far more precious positive potential. Those who make this heartfelt aspiration for the Bodhisattva way will be free of all lower rebirths, free of harmful companions, and will quickly see Amitabha infinite light. Even in this very human life, they'll be nourished by happiness and have all conducive circumstances without waiting long. They'll become just like Samantabhadra himself. Those who give voice to this extraordinary aspiration will quickly and completely purify the 5 boundless harmful actions created under the power of ignorance. Blessed with supreme knowledge, excellent body, family attributes, and appearance, they'll be invincible to vast interfering forces and misleading teachers, and all 3 world will make offering, going quickly to the noble Bodhi tree, and sitting there to benefit sending beings, subduing all interfering forces. They'll fully awaken and turn the great wheel of Dharma. Have no doubt that complete awakening is a fully ripened result, comprehend only by a Buddha, of holding mind by teaching, reading, or reciting this aspiration of the Bodhisattva practice, in order to train just like the hero Manjushri who knows reality as it is, and just like the Samantabhadra as well. I completely dedicate all this goodness just as they did. With that dedication, which is praised as the greatest by all Buddha has gone to feed him 3 times. I too dedicate all my roots of goodness for the attainments of the Bodhisattva practice. When the moment of my death arrives, by eliminating all obscurations and directly perceiving Amitabha, may I go immediately to Sukhavati, Pure Land of Great Joy. Having gone to Sukhavati, may I actualize the meaning of these aspirations, fulfilling them all without exception, for the benefit of being for as long as his world endures. Born from extremely beautiful spurs of lotus, in this joyful land, the Buddha's magnificent mandala, may I receive a prediction of my awakening directly from the Buddha Amitabha. Having received a prediction there, may I create vast benefit for beings throughout the 10 directions with a billion emanations by the power of wisdom. To even the small virtue I have accumulated by offering this prayer, the Bodhisattva practice, may all the positive aspirations of beings be fulfilled in an instant through creating limitless positive potential by dedicating this prayer of Samatha Bhadra's deeds. May all beings drown in the torrent of suffering enter the presence of Amitabha. To this king of aspirations, which is the greatest of the sublime, helping infinite wanderers in samsara, to the accomplishment of the scripture dazzling with Samatha Bhadra's practice, may suffering realms be utterly emptied of all beings. Okay, terrific. Thank you. So we have the further dedications. So we also dedicate all 3-time merit accumulated by ourselves, as well as the numberless, infinite merit accumulated by the numberless sentient beings and numberless Buddhas for the long and stable lives of their spiritual friends, particularly His Holiness Dalai Lama, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Ganon Tree Rinpoche, Sekong Senchab Rinpoche, Ken Rinpoche, Geshe Chini, and Kongsa Rinpoche, and that all of their holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. We also dedicate for the long and healthy lives of our Dharma teachers, in particular, Geshe Sherab, Geshe Tenzin Dorje, Geshe Dorje Damdru, Venerable Sangye Kato, Venerable Levi Rossi, Venerable Tenzin Namjo, Venerable Bina Kirtan, Venerable Tenzin Gachi, Venerable Tulan Kanjo, and Venerable Tenzin Lexok. And we also dedicate for the quick enlightenment and the of all of our kind benefactors, that means Root Institute, and then all their Dharma wishes to be fulfilled in accordance with the Dharma. Then we also dedicate for all those experiencing various health issues, including Shibui, Banumati Joshi, and Vidi Vedavali. And then, more generally speaking, all those who are sick, may they quickly be freed from all their ailments, and whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. Then also, those who have recently passed away, we dedicate 3-time merits, accumulated by ourselves, as well as the numberless sentient beings and numberless Buddhas, that all those who have recently passed away, in particular Chunu, the owner of the general store in Bodh Gaya, Ha Lam and Niti Toila, and all the sentient beings currently in the Bardo, may they instantly be reborn in the Pure Land where they can achieve enlightenment, or at the very least, achieve a perfect human rebirth, meet with a perfect Mahayana guru, and practice the Mahayana teachings, and in that way become enlightened in their very next lifetime. And then for all the Dharma projects, particularly all the FPMT projects in India, especially Root Institute and all the various projects of the FPMT in India, may they have all their obstacles removed and have quick success in their activities to promote and preserve the Dharma, as well as benefit sentient beings. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for going a little bit over time. We're here again every day at the same time, 7 p.m. Indian time, except for Wednesday, where it is 2 p.m. Indian time. Oh, tomorrow is Wednesday. All right. Okay. And then I wonder, any of you here? Okay, actually, maybe I shouldn't do that. Okay, thank you very much.